last summer against Buster Mathis Jr., former heavyweight champion of the world.
Maybe Herbie Hide is now looking for his school tie, Jim.
Either that or he's hiding.
Every possible play on Hyde's last name has been used by the headline writers, by these three announcers tonight.
No, I'm holding one in reserve.
You
Jim.
do have one?
One in
Good.
reserve.
Glad to hear that. We'll look forward to its emergence. Spontaneously, no doubt, Lair. And now the live horns establish the prelude for Herbie Hide's entrance. And a few fans from the UK. In the 2 or 3 years ahead. Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park, the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight, Spencer Promotions and the MGM Grand, in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman, Dr. James Ney. Commissioners, Nat Carasali, Dr. Elias Ghanem, Luther Mack, and Crispin Rivera. Executive Director, Mark Ratner. Chief Physician at ringside, Dr. Flip Homansky. Attending physicians, Dr. James Wishgame and Dr. William Berliner. Timekeeper at the bell, Mike Lachella. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Al Bisick. Representing the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Valcarcel. And supervisor at ringside for the WBO, Florida State Athletic Commission Chairman Jimmy Resnick. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Chuck Giampa, Bill Graham, and Jerry Roth. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the fabulous MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red trim, weighing 241 pounds, this 1988 Olympic silver medalist brings into the ring a professional record of 35 victories against only 1 loss, with 1 no contest, and 29 of his 35 victories are by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from Brooklyn, New York, the challenger and former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Riddick Bowe. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red letters, and weighing 214 pounds. He brings an outstanding professional record of 26 victories without a loss. And he has proven his punching power by knocking out 25 of those 26 opponents. Ladies and gentlemen, from Norwich, Norfolk, England, presenting the undefeated WBO heavyweight champion of the world, the dancing destroyer, Herbie Hide.
All right, Herbie, let's go. Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. Caution you again. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
Herbie Hide might be compared to a star in the AAA leagues. He's in the big leagues now. Can he stand in on the curve? Can he get around on the fastball?
Finally, the bell sounds. Richard Steele, the referee, and round one begins. The title to which Michael Buffer referred in his pre-fight introductions is granted by an organization which is not recognized by HBO. So for our purposes, this is not a world championship bout. Herbie Hide starts the action with a combination to Bowe's head. Riddick Bowe promised us yesterday that he would start off going to Hyde's body to determine whether his strength and weight advantages would be the telltale thing if he goes to the body.
And by Hyde moving to the right, that makes it a non-fight and confuses Riddick Bowe. Anytime he slides over, makes it very, very difficult for Bowe. Bowe is just stalking him. At least he should be sticking out that left jab.
Bowe goes the first minute of the punch almost without throwing a fight, where he finally delivers a left jab.
Don't hold the rope. Great. Step
We've
back.
seen already
Step
on
back,
a couple of
step back,
occasions, Gil, what we talked about earlier, that intuition when to jump in.
Well, Hyde, again, if he nails you with a good solid punch, I mean, he lets it all hang out. He takes chances then. In the meanwhile, he still fights with that chin way up in the air, and he has a tendency to pull back from punches. And even when he's going in punching, that head's up in the air. Doesn't move his head too much.
Does Bowe?
Well, yes, Bowe can slip a punch. Does it very smoothly.
Another assault by Hyde, and he backs away.
And Bowe is asking him to come on in and fight. I hope he doesn't do that all night. He's going to have to make Hyde fight. Snap that jab. Do something.
Yeah, how do you account for Bowe's low activity level so far, Gil? He's just not throwing anything.
Well, I had mentioned he looked a little lethargic going into the ring before the fight, and he really, I don't know what their fight plan was, but I'm sure this is not what Eddie Futch would like to see him do.
Bowe, by his own admission, didn't do much to cut off the ring against Larry Donald in December. He said that he didn't feel like working that hard some of the time against Donald, and thought that he didn't have to dominate the fight. That much was true.
And early in this fight, Jim, you can see that Hyde is much the quicker of the two.
To no one's surprise, Hyde landing to the body, and Bowe with nothing in reply. Another flurry for Hyde. It's been an easy round for Hyde because Bowe hasn't retaliated with much of anything. A hard right hand by Hyde and an uppercut to punctuate the first round.
Riddick Bowe should have stayed in his dressing room for another 3 minutes, Gil.
Well, again, the delay, and when he got up into the ring, he just didn't seem to be focused before the fight. He's going to have to change his strategy a little bit. He's going to have to move that jab, double the jab, and try to counter Hide when Hide again comes in.
You pull away from the first jab. I want you to step in, make him exchange, work to the body, both hands. But you got to get off of that jab. You can't let him move around like that and pick you off when you follow him.
There's that quick hard right at the end of the round. Watch. Really landed solidly, Gil. But Bowe didn't flinch.
Well, if he didn't flinch from that one, he's not going to get hit much harder than that, Larry. Maybe a lot more often and not much harder. That was a perfect punch right on the button.
In his last few fights, Bowe hasn't been hard to hit. Buster Mathis connected with power shots. Even Donald, when he was willing to mix it up and throw a little bit, was able to connect with power shots. And as you saw in the first round there, Herbie Hide had no trouble connecting when he took his shots against Riddick Bowe.
What those flurries seemed to do, Gil, was make Bowe a little bit more tentative in going after him.
A lot more tentative, Larry. He's being very tentative up to this point. It's not a question of him beating Hide to the punch. He just is. He's not with it at the moment.
How much of this can be seen as respect for Hide and what he's shown in the way of punching power, Gil?
Well, I'm sure that Hide got his respect in that first round. Solid punches by Hide, and again, Bowe is just walking in without punching, not throwing any punches at all, just walking in.
He talked about his ability to slip punches, and he does have the gift, but he hadn't shown much of it here. Hyde's able to land with straight right hands.
And we heard Eddie Futch in the corner between rounds telling Bowe to use that left jab to set him up, and Bowe is just walking in, not doing that. Now he's trying to impose his strength on Herbie Hide.
Well, he got in 2 body shots with the right hand, then an uppercut.
Bowe is complaining of Hide's head in his eye, but it was Bowe who was holding Hide in, and Hide was trying to get out.
Well, if Bowe does not continue, this fight's over, and Hyde's the winner.
Okay. You got to watch yourself. You got to watch yourself. Come on.
Maybe that'll get Bowe angry because he just
headbutt one more time. It might be disqualified. Okay.
One more headbutt and he'd be disqualified? Seems a little rash, doesn't it, Gil?
Seems that way to me, and especially the way Hyde fights. He's not the kind of a guy that would be butting with his head, because that head's way up in the air.
Even if he were, he's only done it once. It's awfully early here. Round number 2, and Bowe connects with a solid left hook inside. Or check it, I mean Hyde connects with a solid left hook inside. Bowe still chasing, not cutting off the ring much, and taking more than he's giving against Herbie Hide.
And that time he threw a jab and instinctively ducked the punch that Hyde did not throw, which means that Hyde has his respect.
Hyde lands over the top with a right hand. And now to the body. Riddick Bowe looking ill-prepared to defend himself against the supposedly outmatched Herbie Hide. The odds in the sports books here hovered between 4-1 and 5-1. Bowe a lopsided favorite. Little trickle of blood at the right nostril of Herbie Hide. Hyde still coming forward with resolution. Bowe beginning to be a little bit more active with the left jab, though both were pawing rather than snapping. And another right hand over the top by Hyde.
And Hyde is starting to breathe heavily from the mouth, which means that maybe the pressure of the crowd never got to him.
Hard right hands. Bowe momentarily stunned there.
But yet another good round for Hyde.
Just his nose. Nice round, mate. Nice round.
Just your nose,
Do you want it? Nice round, Ed. Breathing, Mike. Relax, mate. Relax. You had a good round now. He's worried. He's worried.
Dirty fire.
I know it. Don't give him a chance to be dirty. Keep after him all the time.
Come on. Okay. Watch yourself, okay?
That right hand to the body was a good shot. I want you to use more of those.
Let's take a look and see what happened in the corner, because if you'll notice, Bowe is holding on to Hyde, but I don't see a deliberate butt as yet. They were there. Did you? I saw a slight collision, but not anything that looked deliberate.
Actually, Bowe's right hand to the body lifted Hyde up, and his head banged into Bowe. Certainly was not deliberate.
Round 3 begins. The first 2 rounds appeared to us to belong to Herbie Hide. Riddick Bowe seemingly lethargic in this latest effort to prove himself the best among the active heavyweights.
Hyde's movement is really bothering Bowe because Bowe fainted, Hyde fell to the feint, and Bowe still didn't throw a punch. You see Bowe fainting, but not following it up with anything after the feint.
Hard right hand underneath by Hyde.
Solid punches by Hyde.
He keeps going to the body, and that's a good idea too, isn't it, Gil?
It certainly is. It's going to help him out if the fight goes any kind of distance. But again, I think the pressure of Bowe just being there, being on top of Hyde, is taking a little bit out of Hyde. He looked a little tired at the end of the last round. Remember, it's only the second round of the fight.
You're right, Gillies.
Hard left hand by Bowe. Hyde temporarily stunned by that one. Now Herbie backs up, and Riddick tries to follow it in.
Staggering him with that left jab. Very seldom you see that. Bowe had better be careful now.
Riddick Bowe coming alive, and behind the right hand, he gets hit with a Hyde right, and that turns it right around. Bowe in trouble. Hyde looking to land one more clean shot. Long way to go in round 3. Now Bowe steadying himself, tries to set up to throw the jab again. And down goes Hyde. And Richard Steele is saying that it's not a knockdown. There's no count, but Hyde is clearly stunned.
He must have been hit with a very, very short punch.
He's out on his feet. He's out on his feet and in danger of getting hurt if Bowe can put something together. Down goes Hyde again. There still hasn't been an official knockdown ruling. Now this one gets a count.
I had mentioned that Hyde looked tired. He looks exhausted now, and it's only the 3rd round of the fight.
And now Hyde handles Bowe for the moment again, lacing him with lefts and rights. And as Bowe opens up to try to finish, Hyde takes advantage and falls down again.
Got hit with an uppercut. Right uppercut, right on the button.
5, 6, 7.
Well, that's 3 knockdowns.
Except that the first one wasn't ruled a knockdown.
It was not ruled a knockdown.
Richard Steele
1 to go.
Hyde still fighting back, not grabbing and holding or covering up. Can he make it out of the round? He does.
Richard Steele missed a knockdown.
Big time. This fight would be over if Steele had ruled properly on the first knockdown.
This is your championship.
Come on.
Don't throw this away, son.
Come on, boy. You got to move. Don't stand and straight with
Don't
it.
play this man's game, eh?
Come on.
Steele has gone out the window in this fight. This looks like a Golden Glove final.
Fuck's sake, I'm fighting for a championship. Of course he knows where are you?
Where are you?
Very good fucking Riddick Bowe. Get lost.
Come on, what's the matter?
You can beat this fella. You can beat this kid.
It's not even in your league. You're playing the man's game.
Come on. Very good. So bring him. Come on. Move.
Starts to rally like that. Bobbing, weaving, block and duck.
Here we're seeing what's happening here, and you saw that. See if we can get another glance at that. I don't see where there was a knockdown.
It's impossible to see what happened.
And yet he got up groggily, his nose bleeding. I don't have an explanation for it. We'll have to take a closer look if we can, if this fight goes another round.
Pretty amazing. By punch stat numbers, Bowe landed only 9 punches in the round. Hyde was on the canvas 3 times. Now Hyde tries to put Bowe down, and Bowe goes down while missing a punch. And Steele calls that a slip, even though Bowe was clearly stunned by Hyde's punches.
Bowe is just looking for one big shot now to end this fight. He made that mistake against Holyfield. He just has to go back to work and let it happen instead of trying to make it happen.
We've had moments when both guys were wobbly.
But Hide is very tired at the moment.
I think you're right, Gil. Sometimes his first big fight, the pressure of fighting a big man, it can make you tired no matter how many hundreds of miles you've run or how many hundreds of rounds you've sparred.
Well, that's what I think really happened. You can see he has plenty of courage. He fires back and everything, but he just, the pressure of the event got to him early in the fight. Whether or not he can relax now and get the second win to come out, who knows?
Rounds 3 and 4, bringing a bizarre series of events to Bowe Hide. And in the circus of oddities that have marked Bowe's career, here is yet another one to add to the legend and the aura. Weird stuff happens when Riddick Bowe fights.
Right on the button with the right hand by Hide. And, you know, he telegraphs that punch, but he still gets it in there.
Just no defense by Bowe, and then Bowe comes back with the left jab, and Hide has already shown us that he is from time to time stunned by Riddick Bowe's left jab.
Hide is not going to be able to keep this movement up for 12 rounds, though, Jim. He's going to have to hit Bowe and really hurt him because he's not going to have the stamina to go 12.
Another hard right hand over the top by Hide. He's game enough, that's for sure, but now Bowe lands 2 hard right hand shots. Hide's out on his feet, and there he goes. Third official knockdown. 4th time Hide has been on the canvas.
Hey! You okay? Give me a glove.
Steele's gonna let him keep going.
Got a half a minute to survive or try.
That's where Bowe should have landed a left hook to the body. And Bowe throws him down. And correctly, Richard Steele calls it no knockdown.
Hide trying to fight Bowe off with the jab.
But the bigger man now is really imposing himself on Herbie Hide.
Riddick stalking an exhausted Herbie Hide, and Hide goes down from punches and from total fatigue.
I didn't see a punch there either.
A body punch, Larry. It wasn't much of a punch.
Hey, give me gloves.
That's going to get him out of the 4th round.
Herbie Hide showed us some real stomach, as they say in Britain, some real courage to get through that round after the previous round.
Come on. When you're in the clinch, don't put your head down. Bring your head forward. Don't bring your head back. It's the overhead right he's catching you with. Listen. Listen.
Well, we had mentioned,
Listen to us, Bill.
we had mentioned before the fight that Herbie Hide pulls his head back, and that's what they're telling him in the corner. Bring it inside. Don't pull it back.
Let's see what happened here on this knockdown. That was just a big clubbing right hand against a fatigued Hide, a left jab, another one high in the head. That looked more from fatigue than anything else.
Well, the best punches were the 2 jabs, and they weren't really kind of punches to put him on the canvas. But he's a tired young man right now.
Well, give him this. He doesn't fight like a preppy.
He's as game as he can possibly be. But he's in danger of getting hurt now in round number 5 unless he can somehow get his legs back. Hyde still trying to dance from side to side, and Bowe just stalking like a big cat now.
You know, Hyde has been down a couple of times on questionable knockouts, but there was no question that he went down. I don't think he went down on purpose by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, he's been on the canvas 5 times, 4 of them ruled knockdowns. Well, he's actually been on the canvas more than that. He's been on the canvas 6 times. 4 ruled knockdowns, 2 ruled slips, and the first one, which was ruled a slip, probably should have been ruled a knockdown.
The only shot that Hyde has
trade hard right hands
is to land a big solid punch, because again, he's not going to be able to go 12 rounds and outpoint Riddick Bowe.
Get up! Get back! Step back! Step back!
Another left hook.
3, 4.
And you wonder how many times Hyde is going to want to keep going for this.
I still think
He's
this is
proven
more
himself up to the
fatigue
point.
than clean punching, Gil.
Yes, it was. The punches weren't really solid punches.
They were almost slaps.
But Herbie Hide is, again, very tired young man.
Yeah, and because he's so fatigued, he's in danger here. And
He just
Steele
hit
should be
Bowe.
thinking about that.
He just hit Bowe with a right uppercut.
Yep, sure did.
He has him hurt.
Bowe is hurt.
And he's buying some time by manhandling Hide back into the ropes.
But Hide never realized that he had him hurt, Gil.
Hide's just trying to survive.
This is turning out to be Holyfield Bowe redux.
With a little bit more of a touch of the burlesque.
And not quite as much good boxing skills and technique. These guys, are, again, remind me of 2 Golden Glovers in the finals.
Kind of fitting. Bowe won 4 Golden Gloves championships in New York.
Hyde may be getting a little bit of a second wind right now, seems to me.
Either that or Bowe is going into energy deficit. Riddick's activity level has gone down since the knockdown in this round. Knockdowns in 3, 4, and 5 now. Herbie Hide still hanging in. Just missed. The long right and left could have done some damage. Now there's a solid right hand by Hide.
Oh, break it. There you go.
Gil, what is Bowe doing wrong not to take advantage of a really tired, hurt opponent?
When a fighter is tired, Larry, it's very, very easy to feint and hit him with left jabs. But Bowe is looking to hit him with the home run ball every shot. That's his big mistake right now. He should just get back and use his experience and use that
Another
left
look
jab.
at a knockdown, a light jab, the right that landed more on the shoulder. These were more pushes against fatigue than clean punches.
Didn't even hit him with that punch. He blocked the punch, but again, he's so tired.
And let's see where Hide came in with the uppercut and hurt Bowe without even knowing it. Right there, you see Bowe's knees buckle from those 2 uppercuts. It ain't pretty, but it's exciting.
It's a fight.
And we're ready for the 6th of a scheduled 12. Harold Letterman, how have you got it so far?
Jim, I got to tell you, Nevada judges are notorious for calling rounds close with knockdowns, but I'm not a Nevada judge. I had the 3rd round 10-7 because Riddick Bowe scored 2 clean knockdowns and had him out, so I took away a point for each knockdown. Rounds 4 and 5, on the other hand, I thought Riddick Bowe didn't have that much of an advantage, and I only went 10-8. But certainly he deserved an extra point for the knockdowns in rounds 4 and 5. So I got it 3 rounds to 2, 48-43, Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, you scored the first 2 rounds for Herbie Hyde.
Exactly. He had to get the first 2 rounds.
As I did, but I scored it a 1-point round with a 5th round.
Well, it's judge's choice with all the fighters who've been lying on the canvas, or the number of times that Hyde has been on the canvas tonight.
Again, Larry, you want to know what Riddick Bowe is doing wrong. He's stalking the fighter, but he's not moving his hands. Moving his legs, not moving his hands. Look how long it takes him to get off any kind of a punch at all.
You know, 2 years ago, Bowe looked as though he was rapidly becoming a supreme technician. Where did it all go, Gil?
Come on, get up. No.
Hyde down again.
Come on. Come on, give me your
Hyde's been using the canvas to really hide and rest.
Another slippage. Hard right hand over the top.
Go to the corner.
That ought to be a knockdown.
Somebody
And the
may
towel comes in from Hyde's corner. Steele ignores the towel.
as
Somebody
he should.
They're not allowed to throw in a towel to stop a fight. And they have that rule in to keep them from making scores on gambling.
Steele kicks the white towel out of the ring.
A good move by Steele.
Hyde maybe not entirely in touch with what's going on at this point. He's so exhausted.
Hyde ought to try to take a round off here, Gil. Just run, stay away from him, hold, not engage him if he can get away.
Where did all of Bowe's skill and polish and ring intelligence go, Gil?
Maybe it went with that good living.
Well, in part it's because of the nature of the opponents he's been fighting. That may be it.
Will this be enough?
Go to the corner.
There's a count going.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And Hyde's not going to make it up. A rusty, rough-hewn effort, but Riddick Bowe gets his KO.
Well, we were talking about how Riddick Bowe had to make a great impression in this fight to be recognized as the best heavyweight in the world, and I just really don't think that he showed that much in this fight, despite the numerous knockdowns.
A distraught Herbie Hide.
The awkward Mathis, the running Larry Donald, and here Henry Hyde, who you could see weeping in his corner. All difficult kinds of guys to fight, awkward guys.
Well, let me tell you, Larry, Herbie Hide is attached to his arms, which means he landed a lot of punches, and when he's hitting you, he's still there. You have to have the reflexes to counter, and Bowe did not seem to have those quick reflexes tonight.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Riddick Bowe kneeling to pray.
I think what Riddick Bowe needs is a real challenge. Somebody who can really compete with him so that he can train in that way. I think he's gone into these last 3 fights thinking he didn't have an opponent who was truly able to compete with him.
Well, I felt that Bowe was in great shape for this fight. They told him how important the fight was, but who knows what goes on in a fighter's mind.
And we're taking repeated looks here at the last of Herbie Hyde's many trips to the canvas. And finally, for this one, Hyde kept the left knee on the canvas and simply declined to get up, which was wise.
There wasn't much more he could do.
Fascinating, though, that your mind's eye and your memory tend to tell you, Gil, that the Riddick Bowe who fought against Evander Holyfield in November of 1992 and who looked so good would have polished Herbie Hide off easily in the 3rd round with quick, economical combinations.
No question about it. Remember, even the second Riddick Bowe fight, he almost polished off Holyfield with nice short combinations.
Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Richard Steele reaches the count of 10 at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of round number 6. The winner, and once again, heavyweight champion of the world, now a 2-time world champion, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
And we repeat, in our book here at HBO, we don't recognize the governing body that awards that title that Michael Buffer is referring to, so by our lights, Riddick Bowe is not yet again a heavyweight champion of the world. He's trying hard to work toward it. 8-year-old brother Alan Hyde, Hyde's little brother, suffering from leukemia, here tonight to watch his life's hero fight. And I think that's probably the source of Herbie's tears, Gil. He really wanted to do something big for his little brother tonight.
Well, yeah, there's no question about that. Flew him all the way over here. You can imagine how the kid feels. And I don't know who would feel worse, Herbie or the kid.
Let's be strong.
Probably couldn't feel much worse than Herbie Hide feels right now. Final punch stat numbers. You can see that Hyde was by far the more active fighter, throwing 66 more punches in the fight than did Bowe. He landed 41 more punches in the fight than did Bowe. Not a lot of defense played here. Bowe and Hyde both landing half or more of their punches in the fight. And now Larry Merchant stands by in the ring with the once and perhaps future heavyweight titleist, Riddick Bowe.
All right, Riddick, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Give us your overview of this fight. It was a kind of awkward, brawling, entertaining, but it seemed that you didn't do anything in the first couple of rounds. You were still back there in the dressing room fixing your gloves, and then all of a sudden, there were all these knockdowns.
Well, I'll tell you that the experience would prove to be a big factor in this fight. And I knew Herbie was going to come out and use a lot of lateral movement, and I would eventually catch a winner, which I did. He headbutted me early in the fight, and I just had to be real careful, pick my shots, and I have to admit that at a certain point, I got somewhat over anxious, and, you know,
Did the delay
I had to regroup.
Did the long delay in the dressing room sort of quiet you down because you came in and you just...
No, not at all. You know, I'm usually calm, cool, and collective, and that's how I am when I come in the ring. But I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity and blessing me with the win. I want to say happy birthday to my nephew Eric. Hey, Eric, see you soon, man. Hi, Mom.
He seemed like an awkward fighter to fight. He leaped in, and did he hurt you? He seemed once or twice that he might have hurt you.
Well, he stunned me a couple of times, to be honest with you. And I would have to admit, Herbie Hide is much faster than I thought he was. But I think the pressure itself, it took its toll on him. And I was able to catch up with him.
You could sense that he was getting fatigued just from being here?
Oh, I can look at him and I hit him with a body saying, ugh. Sound like a little girl for a second, and I knew if I applied the pressure like Eddie Futch told me to, eventually things would go my way.
Why were you? People were asking us, why are you unable to finish him earlier when he seemed so hurt? Was it just that he was sort of lurching around the ring, much the way Evander did, Holyfield did in your first fight?
You got to give Herbie credit. He was in great shape, and he was able to withstand a line of punishment, especially to the body, which we anticipated we were going in to work on his body. But Herbie was very courageous after being shook up, and I thought the count was somewhat long, and I thought the referee should stop the fight earlier, but, what can you say?
All right, what about next? When are you going to fight an opponent that everybody says, there's a real contest?
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about Jorge Luis Gonzalez? I want to knock that big bum out because he talked too much, and he think he's the champ, and ain't whooped nobody yet. And if you say something smart, I'm gonna have to whoop you too.
You don't even want to know what I think of Gonzalez.
I must admit that I don't think that tonight was one of my best performances, but I think going right back into the gym and working on various different things that I can improve, because I did get anxious and I should have just been cool and maintained my composure.
Thank you very much, Riddick. You're always honest.
No, thank you.
All right, Rock Newman, manager of Riddick Bowe. Rock, you tell us what the immediate future holds for Riddick Bowe and what your trip to that prison in Indiana is all about.
Firstly, I think tonight's performance was one that is a good, tough fight for Riddick. It was a good, tough fight, and it's the kind of fight where he did some things right and he did some things wrong, and he'll go back in the gym. Before he gets back to the gym, we will be visiting Mike Tyson in Plainfield, Indiana. Riddick wants to speak. So
and also, I would like to dedicate this fight to my homeboy, Michael Ben, back home in Brooklyn. Hey, Mike, this one's for you, man. We did it again.
We will be visiting Plainfield, Indiana to see Mike Tyson. Tyson and Bowe have become very friendly. They have a lot of respect for each other. In addition to the tremendous respect they have for each other, there's the matter of in excess of $122 million that the two fighters could split up. Those things I will suggest to you will be discussed.
How realistic is it for him to go to for Tyson to come to Bowe next, or is it really carved in stone that he will fight Gonzalez next and then perhaps somebody else before Tyson down the road?
Well, I would say that we're going to go and meet Tyson. We're going to be very deferential. We're going to be very respectful. Not going to be arrogant and tell him you must fight us at some certain point. We'll see what Mike Tyson has to say, how he feels, when he wants to fight. And from there, we'll develop a strategy to put on what I think will be the biggest fight in the history of boxing. In the meantime, there may be the taking care of Jorge Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, Rock.
Thank you.
All right, Jim, I'm going to see if I can get to Herbie Hide and get his overview, or maybe it's an underview of this fight. Be right back with you.
All right, thanks very much, Larry. And with regard to all the discussion of Mike Tyson, of course, Tyson is going to have all the options in the world available to him when he comes out of prison, and it must be stated that whatever he chooses to do in terms of who he fights, all the cards will be with him in any of those equations. It'll be his choice, not somebody else's. Riddick is probably going to wind up fighting Gil against Jorge Luis Gonzalez here in Las Vegas on June 17. Now, we saw Gonzalez on the undercard in an easy knockout against an outmatched fighter named